This podcast may contain adult language and themes, or it might not. We're not really sure. We haven't recorded.
I'm Jason.
I'm Diggs.
I make software, music, and podcasts.
I connect people personally and professionally, and I like talking with Jason.
This is the Candy Factory 5x5 podcast.
5 conversations.
5 random topics.
5 minutes each.
When we hear this sound,
we move on to the next topic. Next.
On every episode, we invite a very special guest to join us. And that very special guest on today's program is Dr. Melissa Bird. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Jason. Nice to see both of you.
Thank you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am Dr. Melissa Bird, and I am a life coach, author, and public speaker. My company is called Natural Born Rebel, and I teach women how to harness the power of their rebellion to make good and not evil choices.
Wow. Who is your typical client?
I typically work with women who are really just tired of watching their lives and their communities sort of stalemate, and they want to create personal revolutions and make changes in their lives and their community, and that's what I help them do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Been doing it for a while?
I've been doing it for a couple of years. I'm one of those people who has survived that third year entrepreneurial problematic thing, and I managed to do it with 3 kids, and my husband is a disabled veteran, and he's been going to school full time this whole time. So I'm really proud of myself. I really totally slayed it.
Yeah, congratulations on that. That's awesome. And it's great to have you on the program on this episode of the Candy Factory 5x5 podcast. It's a program that's part of the Candy Factory Collective, which is a media collective producing a host of, do you like that? A host of live streams and podcasts sponsored by, I should say, and produced here at the Candy Factory. It's a premier co-working space in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And you know, it's 2021. It's our first episode of 2021.
Yay!
Recovered from New Year's yet. But as the pandemic rages on, you're probably sick of working at home. And if so, you really should check out the Candy Factory at coworkinginlancaster.com. We have a bunch of membership levels, but to get you in the door, $35 social membership is 16 hours of co-working where you can come into the space, and access to all of our virtual events and eventually our in-person events someday. We're very excited to bring those back at some point. And our $100 all-in community membership gets you in the door. Anytime we're open, you can come in and work. And I just want to point out, 20,000 square feet. So we can socially distance out the wazoo here at the Candy Factory in Lancaster. It's where this show started. It's where I met my good friend Diggs. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you, my friend.
Good to see you.
So good to see you as well. Happy New Year. And if you're new to the program, the way it works is I have an iPad. His name is Frank. And he will dish up 5 random topics. We're going to talk about each topic for 5 minutes. He'll play us a little song that we can dance to if we'd like. And then we move on to the next topic. And that's how it works. It's 5x5, fastest 25 minutes in podcasting. Are you guys ready to get started?
Totally.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
Here we go. Episode 39 of the Candy Factory 5x5 podcast. Topic number 1. Never have I ...
Ooh.
Oh.
Never have I ...
Oh, this is a good one.
Well, let's start with you then.
Do you want to start with the thing? Do you want to start with? Do we start the count? Or?
Never have I. Never have I given birth, but I have 3 children. Never have I filed for bankruptcy, but I've been close. Never have I. This is hard. Never have I been to France.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Was that 3?
That was 3.
Never have I. Never have I been to a Debbie Gibson concert.
Whoa.
Who is that?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's gonna let that flutter away like a butterfly.
Flutter away.
Okay.
And then never have I gotten a ticket for driving 125 miles per hour in my Camaro.
Okay.
Huh.
So we're guessing which one of those you actually have. No. Yeah. I don't know how this works. I'm new to this game.
Oh, sorry. Well, yeah. So there's never have I. The never have I ever is the other version, which is if you like all three of us would have like had our fingers up, and then if you had done that thing, you would have put your finger down. So yeah, there's two versions of it.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna say you have been to France. I don't know what Jason.
I'm going to say you've been to a Debbie Gibson concert. That's where I'm going.
No, I have been to France.
Oh. Okay. What was that like?
Oh my God, it was so beautiful. I was the nanny for Rita Hayworth's grandson. So Rita Hayworth, the famous actress, I was the nanny for Rita Hayworth's grandson. I got that job because they were looking for, and I was from Utah, and they were moving to Utah, and they were looking for someone who knew the area. And I went to get my hair cut one day, and my hairdresser was like, "Hey, are you looking for a job?" And I was like, "I'm always looking for a job. I'm like 20 years old. Hello." And he was like, "This princess is looking for a nanny." And I was like, "Okay." He's like, "Give me your resume, and I'll send it to them."
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
Yeah. And so I ended up living in Switzerland with them in Geneva for a month. Unexpectedly, they had to fire the other nanny because she put Andrew's life at risk or something like that. It was
Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
The nanny totally screwed up, basically. And so they were like, "You have 24 hours to decide if you want to move to Europe and spend the whole summer with us," because I wasn't supposed to start until the fall. And my boyfriend at the time was like, "You'll hate me forever." He ended up being my husband for about 2 years. He's like, "You'll hate me forever if you don't go. You have to go." And I was like, "Okay, I'm leaving my whole life and moving to Europe. See ya." And I was Andrew's nanny for a little over a year, and he was dreamy. And we used to go hiking in France all the time.
How old was he at the time?
He was 10.
Okay. Did you keep in touch?
We did keep in touch, and unfortunately, he actually died very young. So he died in his 20s. But we kept in touch. He was the love. He was such a love. Oh. So that's how I ended up in France.
What a neat story that is.
Yeah.
Wow. And here I was thinking and just imagining you with Debbie on stage.
I mean, honestly, that's the next best thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. Pop star from the 80s for Diggs and anyone who's under whatever 35.
Thank you.
Diggs, do you want to throw a couple at us here?
I'm trying to think. I'll try to keep it to 3 for time's sake. So, never have I been to Iceland. Never have I had my hot dog stolen, and never have I been to Mount Everest.
I was trying to watch your body language, man. Like I was totally trying to detective you out.
That's why I like.
Yeah,
I like
you did a good job. Missy, do you want to go for the guess here?
I mean, I'm going to go with Everest.
You're saying he's been to Everest. I'm saying he's had his hot dog stolen.
So it's the hot dog stolen, but it was an attempted hot dog steal by Hilary Swank. And this story gets even crazier. Oh, this is yes. So the story starts with I went to a baseball game with Jon Stewart because
as you do.
Yes, it's because a family member of his was in high school with me. There was an extra ticket to the 2006 NLCS with the Mets and Cardinals. And I happened to get the extra ticket, and Hilary Swank was across the aisle and tried to steal my hot dog.
Boom.
That's amazing.
Well, I tell you what, never have I stayed on the same topic twice, or for 2 times on 5x5, because it's time to move on to topic number 2, which is White Claw. White Claw. Oh. I don't know what White Claw is, so Diggs, you're going to have to fill us in. Oh,
I do.
Where am I with this?
You're not a middle-aged housewife is where you're at.
Apparently.
Real about that.
Talk to me about White Claw, friends.
Diggs, do you want to go first, or?
So I don't fully. Is it a spritzer? Because I've seen the cans. Okay.
It is a spritzer, and it comes in this tall, beautiful can that's white and looks like a soda, like a Red Bull can, like a soda can. And they've got this nice label, a black label, and it comes in multiple flavors. It usually just used to come in like 2 flavors, and then they've expanded out because all the middle-aged housewives were like, I can get away with this shit anywhere. And
nice.
So Like, it's a whole thing. I love this lovely definition that's going across the screen. A gluten-free alcohol base. Yeah, so you don't get fat because it's gluten-free. And all the I'm a middle-aged housewife, and they're all like, "Do you want a White Claw?" And I'm like,
How about 3?
This is what I drink, okay? So I'm like, what's a White Claw? I'm a whiskey girl. Like, do you love how I have it right here in my bedroom? Yeah.
Yes.
Just right here, the whiskey is. Because why not? And so White Claw has become very popular among the middle-aged housewife set. Or it turns out, according to my best gay, also among the younger gay crowd. So I don't know. It's a thing.
That's how I got introduced to it, because the younger gay set in Lancaster started ordering it a lot.
Yeah, well, it's gluten free, yo. You can drink like 30 of them, not get fat.
It's healthy, is what I'm hearing.
Healthy, yes.
That's what I'm hearing. It's a healthy beverage. It's a health drink.
It's a health drink. When the pandemic first started back in the spring, we would go for walks because that's all you could do here in Corvallis, Oregon, right? Because I was not leaving the house ever. Like, I was like, pandemic, what? Lock it down, people, lock it down. And we would go for walks or go hiking up in the forest. And there, all of a sudden, there was this like litany of White Claw cans because people are bad about nature. And I was like, why are people leaving these cans in nature? But it was like way more than you ever see normally. It was like people are like hiking and drinking and having a cow about the pandemic. Anyway, White Claw.
I would think that up there in Oregon, that's where you are, you said, Oregon, right?
I am.
That
in
people
Oregon.
would be a little bit more environmentally conscious about leaving the cans.
Oh, you would so think that, but it
Yeah.
turns out that Oregon is the seat of hypocrisy when it comes to sustainability and environmentalism. There's
Really?
2 reasons for that. The first reason is, I'm going to get a little political here. I know Diggs is super surprised about this. Oregon was founded as a whites-only state.
Is that right?
Surprise,
know that.
surprise. We are the most racist nation in the nation next to Mississippi.
Oh, racist state. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, state. Yeah.
Racist state in the nation next to like Mississippi and a couple of other places in the South. We are where the Proud Boys are proudly homesteaded here in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, I know that's big.
And
yeah.
And so we are like this super racist state. So you get outside of Portland, it's game on. And the second reason, so we're not this liberal bastion that everybody thinks we are, but the second reason is because the government here, the local government does not actually invest money in environmental sustainability and regenerative infrastructure. And I know this because my beautiful husband and I are starting a retreat center and aquaculture farm called the Mermaid's Garden. And we are going to be welcoming people to our table who can come and do retreats of all different types, but we're also starting the first recirculating aquaculture farm in Oregon. And it's a sustainable regenerative aquaculture farm that uses 95% less water, super good for the environment. The state keeps talking about how they want to invest in organizations that are veteran-owned, women-owned, LGBT, blah, blah, blah. No.
Really?
No. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got to break down that. What are you calling it? Octa something or other?
Aquaculture
Oh,
is
aquaculture.
where you grow fish it's going to be an inside
Okay.
fish farm. We're growing fish, hybrid striped bass, fishes.
Oh,
Healthy,
okay.
happy fishes with no antibiotics and no mercury.
Just a little White Claw. Just a little White Claw,
Little White Claw
kind of.
fishes. That's right. Little White Claw fishes. We're going to name them after each of the beverage types, and they're going to be gluten-free. It's going to be amazing.
I wonder if you, you know how you can, what do they call it when you put the fruit in the water? What do they call it? Like you cut up a bunch of cucumbers and you put it in the
Yeah,
fancy.
the cucumber water that tastes like
Infused.
you're eating feet. Infusion, yeah. We'll infuse the fish with White Claw.
Yes.
Yes!
Can you get
done all the things.
Can you get drunk if you eat a bass that's been swimming in White Claw?
I'm going to assume as much. If not, we'll just add some vodka.
At the end, just a little splash there.
At the end of the cleaning. Yeah.
I love it.
Well, friends, this can is empty, and it's time to move on. It's time to move on to topic number 3 of this episode's 5x5, which is, oh my God, I can't even pronounce this. Curatorial cheerleading.
Oh, this is my fault. I know
Right.
what this is about. Curatorial cheerleading was. I was having I think it was an argument with someone about how like the not just like regular cheerleading with like the women on the sidelines at football games and like the scanty clad nonsense, but like the like actual like band level like curation where they like will come out with like, you know, they'll spell a word or they'll do a flag, like that sort of stuff. So the argument was about which like, because someone was like, oh, cheerleading's just stupid and dumb. It's like, most of it is, but this stuff is not. Like it's the truth. Like it's, but I feel like it's not a big thing.
Ever?
Like you don't really,
Anywhere?
No, not that. Well, no. See, you just hit my point without even knowing you did. It's not a big thing up north. It's like, at least not in my experience. It's huge down south. And I don't know about other areas of the country, but man, if you, it's small level stuff. Like, but it starts in high school. It starts in middle school actually, where they.
Oh no, it starts in elementary school, my friend.
Oh really?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So
It starts with dance.
Okay.
Oh,
Like,
you're right.
So like I'm in my mid 40s, right? Well, let's be clear, I'm 46, so I'm old. But so I used to do like the modern dance and like ballet, right?
Sure,
Until my feet got so big I couldn't wear the right ballet shoes, and I was bigger than everyone, and I was like, I'm out of here, see ya. So I didn't want to get made fun of. But there's like dance. And it's like dance. It's not just dance class. Like you're learning some techniques. It's like full makeup, full like regalia. Everything is coordinated. There's like serious involvement. And then most of those girls are actually gymnasts usually, right? And so then they end up getting into cheer when they get older. And they end up doing cheer. And it is...
It sounds like one of those super competitive, like ultra competitive weekends.
Yeah, cheerleading is competitive.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's not competitive. Like I'm not.
I mean, like it's a thing.
But what exactly is it that they are? Okay, let me just say that my only exposure really to cheerleading would be kind of what Dig said. You know, you go to the high school football game, they're down there, they're doing the rah-rahs. Yeah. And it's cool. And, you know, sometimes they get real fancy with flipping around and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But what is it that, like, what are you judged on in one of these cheerleading competitions that are super high?
Well,
like, what's the criteria?
There are 6 elements: jumps, dance,
stunt
sequence, pyramid sequence, standing tumbling, and running tumbling. And I think that's specific to, what is it specific to? Competition cheerleading. But like the real, like what Missy and I are talking about is like when it's like half the football field is taken up with like people with their own
There's
part.
a routine.
Yeah.
It's serious business.
So it's almost like cheerleading meets the whole like kind of marching band, the way that they move around the field kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Only nobody's jumping off the drums. They don't have cymbals.
Right. They're flipping and tumbling and dancing around.
Yeah, it's not like awesome or anything like.
Now
I was not a cheerleader, but I made fun of them a lot.
Now you mentioned kids earlier. Any of them doing this kind of cheer?
Oh no, no. Although it would be interesting to see if Sean wanted to pull that off, but the girls,
no. How old are they?
I have an 18-year-old.
Okay.
We're so glad she got into college and went away, but I love her dearly.
Oh, absolutely.
Distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Sure.
She's like 30 minutes away. But she's not a cheerleader. No. Gwendolyn, the lovely Gwen, she's my fave, honestly. No, I'm just kidding. And if they ever listen to this, you're all my favorite. She's almost 13. She's
no
inspiring. She's an aspiring witch and an artist. So she just does magic all the time. And then my little man is 10.
Okay.
And he's a karate guy, so he could do cheer.
Yeah, I could see karate then evolving into this thing.
I can too.
Yeah.
Actually, it's very athletic, right?
I actually did gymnastics for a little bit as a little kid in lieu of karate, or I think the choices were gymnastics, karate, or Boy Scouts, I was like, absolutely not. I don't even know why. I just was like, I don't want to dress up in the brown or whatever the heck the color was. I just didn't want
It's not pretty.
I remember. No, it was uniform. It was just uniform, full stop. That's what I didn't want to do. Like I was so like, I think third grade, second or third grade, my elementary school instituted a uniform policy. Oh my
Diggs
God.
was like, I'm out. I'm out.
No, I stayed, but I begrudgingly, I found some way to screw it up. Either my tie was askew, or my shirt was undone, or something. I just couldn't do it.
And Jason, you're not a cheerleader, apparently.
I'm not a cheerleader, but this routine has ended, and it's time to move on to topic number 4 of this episode's 5x5, which is ironically hidden talents. So I could have pulled a fast one on you and said, actually, I'm a curatorial cheerleader. I think I just screwed up the pronunciation of that word.
I love how you did that. That was so amazing.
So, cheerleading is not one of my hidden talents. And I'm gonna just punt to Diggs on this one right now, and I'm gonna ask Diggs what your hidden talents are while I ponder if I.
Oh, you're thinking about yours? Okay, fine. I'm trying to think. For some reason, people just don't believe when I say that I played tennis. I don't know if that's a hidden talent or.
That's been well documented on 5x5 though.
This
I
is
will say that.
True. Yes, I have talked about it a lot here because I was getting back into it over the last few months, and we're dealing with various coronavirus regulations here in Pennsylvania. We just came out of a period where indoor gymming, indoor anything was pretty much shut down, dining and gyms and whatnot. So getting back into it now, but whenever I tell someone for the first time, there's always this look of like, what? You really? I'm just like, why is that such a shock? I don't fully understand. I mean, it's not like it. I guess it's somewhat surprising being a black kid from New York, but also just like we have tennis courts all over the place. Like, come on. But I don't know. So I don't know if that counts. I'm thinking.
I was going to say that's kind of a non-hidden.
Is that
talent,
a cop out?
But,
okay,
That's
fine.
not. Yeah. Whatever.
But Missy, let's come to you. Let's give.
We're just going to go to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So I have 3 hidden talents.
Oh wow.
My first hidden talent is that I can cross stitch like no other. I do counted cross stitch like I'm some Mormon girl from Utah, even though I'm from Utah but not a Mormon girl. I cross stitch like I am currently working on the Last Supper as a cross stitch. It's like
Holy
huge. It's like
shit.
it's like gigantic.
Is it like curatorial cross stitch?
It is. Yes, it's curatorial because there's no pattern. I have to actually count all the squares. The angels are all going to be feminist icon faces above Jesus and all the disciples. It's going to be
that's cool.
Amazing. My second hidden talent is that I have the capacity to recall full lyrics and not get them wrong from any song from the 80s.
Wow.
My favorites, though, are always Metallica and Guns N' Roses. So not with Debbie Gibson.
No Debbie G. No Deb Gibb.
No,
D Gibb.
Full on. Show me your horns. My third hidden talent is that I can get anybody who meets me for the first time to cry within 30 minutes.
Thank God this show is only 25 minutes long. That's all I have to say.
And my favorite thing to hear is always when I meet a new person and they've been with me for longer than 30 minutes, they're like, and they're spilling all of their guts. So I get people to tell me their secrets and cry at the same time. And they're like, I don't even understand why I'm telling you this. Like, I've never told anybody any of this. And I'm like,
wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive. So I'm just a few years older than you. So I am barreling down the road toward 50 this year.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm a child of the 80s. I was trying to think so I wear all my talents on my sleeve now because I don't got much left, right? So I'm just sort of like whatever I got, I'm putting out there. But I was thinking about when I was a kid, I came from a very small coal town in Western Pennsylvania, really backwards place, but we were break dancers. Were break dancers. Yeah. Yeah, in I want to say the 7th grade, 6th, 7th grade. We would get fortunately my grandfather owned an auto parts and hardware store, so he would get big boxes shipped in big boxes, so we would cut the cardboard.
Yes.
And go out on the corner, put a crew together, and there would be 6 of us breakdancing. These people must have just been like, "What the fuck is going on?" You know what I mean?
Amazing.
They must. I mean, we're talking about, Trumpville now, right? So just imagine, right? Western PA, coal town. Right. The most diversity is that I think there was a Protestant. It was all European Catholic. Yeah, that's it. Right. And we're breakdancing on the corner of this town.
That's amazing because when I was in 4th grade, I got as a gift for my birthday the breakdancing how-to that had pictures of Michael Jackson broken down in all the different steps.
Huh.
Yeah, that stuff was great.
Believe I tried to be a breakdancer at one point. I loved that you could actually do it, Jason.
Yeah, we would tear it up. Of course, I tried it about 10 years ago and ended up in PT for about 6 months. But
as you do.
but back in the day, but we were also metalheads. So you mentioned that. So the breakdancing crew actually we were called like Metallicats or something. It was like some name that because the only music we listened to was metal. Except for like one kid got like the Breakin' soundtrack or something like that. I don't know. And that was it. Okay. So, but there's the gong. That show is ended. It is time now for topic number 5 of this episode's 5x5, the final topic. Soapbox. Soapbox. Does that mean we get up on one? Is that what this is all about?
I think so. Missy, what's your soapbox topic?
Okay, I'm really excited about this because I have a story. Of course, all of you are going to learn that I have a story about a soapbox. Okay, so I have a story about everything. So during the 2016 election, we were still living in Southern California because I was finishing my PhD, and we were in a restaurant, and some news came right across my phone.
Okay.
And I started going, it was during the primary, and I started going off. I was like, this is misogyny, and this is bullshit, and I'm tired of the sexism, and I'm tired of this, and I'm tired of that. And my son at the time, Sean was 6, I think, and he's like, puts his hand on my arm, and he's like, Mom, people are staring. And Jim goes, I really need you to get off your soapbox. And I was like, I am not getting off my soapbox. This is bullshit. I'm tired of it. No. And he looks over at me, and he goes, I know what I'm getting you for your birthday.
A soapbox.
3 weeks later, this giant box arrives at my house. Oh my God, I wish it was in my bedroom. I would show it to you. It's downstairs. A giant box arrives. I open it up, and there's this soapbox, and it's not just any soapbox, y'all. It's a fairy soap box. So it says fairy soap on all the sides. Now, here's my favorite thing about getting my own soapbox. Is I was teaching at USC at the time, the University of Spoiled Children. And I was teaching at USC. And I took my soapbox with me to class. And I would get up on my soapbox. And my students would be like, oh no, here goes Professor Bird again. She's going to go on a tear. And I would stand on my soapbox and lecture my students. Now, the best thing about the soapbox, and I actually have a blog about the soapbox if y'all want to visit my website at naturalbornrebel.com. I actually have a whole process on my blog about how to get up on your own soapbox and find your voice, because the purpose of a soapbox was actually back during, and this is why it has a negative connotation, because during the suffrage movement and the labor movements, which by the way, nobody loves to talk about, they would have to get out. It's not like they had big megaphones. They'd have to get up on a soapbox to amplify their voice out to the hundreds of people that would be standing in the alleyway. So the purpose of a soapbox is to get up and spread a message, but it has a negative connotation because it was women and people of color who were doing just that.
Wow.
Huh.
And the fact that you have a soapbox, can I admit something?
Yeah.
Oh, 23 minutes in and you brought a tear. And there you go.
Oh, yeah.
She has a soapbox.
I won. I have a soapbox.
Boom. Brought a little tear. That's incredible. That's a great gift too. Yeah.
What a great story, right? Like what a perfect gift for me too, because I'm always going on a ranty tear. Let me just tell you. I know you can't imagine it. I'm so demure.
I don't get on soapboxes too often. I find it to be that I just don't have that in me like you do.
Oh, really?
No, wait a minute.
Bluetooth?
No, wait a minute now. No, wait a minute. There's a big difference between bitching to my friends and standing up and bitching about Bluetooth. Bluetooth is the worst technology that's ever been made, by the way.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you.
I'm gonna get on my soapbox here for a second, and I'm just gonna say that it is a disaster. You want to talk about a disaster? You want to talk about something that should be in all caps, the word "sad" with an exclamation point? It's Bluetooth, right? I mean, today.
I knew it.
Today, my mother FaceTimed me, and the whole fucking thing blew up. Like the AirPods were switching to the computer. The computer was switching. The other day I had a situation where my FaceTime, listen to this, FaceTime, my computer, if I picked the Bluetooth, it would come out my computer speakers. And if I picked the computer speakers, it would come out the Bluetooth. Like, I was literally changing the opposite direction because these things, they suck so bad.
Maybe you're just a witch and you've got some electricity issues going on.
Maybe that's it. You know,
Maybe
all
you're
this
just
time.
like a Morlock or something, and you're trying to figure your shit out and you can't do it.
You know, you're probably right, but the one thing, Diggs is right. The one, if I'm going to stand on a soapbox, it's going to be about Bluetooth. Diggs, how about you? Where are you at?
The problem is I never really know what's going to trigger me. I'm definitely a soapboxer, I guess, if that's a.
Nobody's in denial about that.
Oh yeah, no. It kind of depends. I guess the latest soapbox thing that I had was trying to explain to people why I don't like doubling back. Like if I go one way to a place, I don't want to go the same way back because I want to see more other things. I want to explore more. Like what's the point of just taking the road you already taken? Like this just doesn't make sense.
Take
and someone was like,
traveled.
well, right, exactly. So like on my way back from Ohio recently, I instead of coming straight through on the turnpike, just kind of cut straight through, I took back roads because I wanted to see more stuff, and someone thought I was crazy. But
well,
okay, that's tender.
Unfortunately, it's time for all three of us to get off our soapboxes because that is it. That is in the books, episode 39 of 5x5. Dr. Melissa Bird, such a pleasure to have you on the program today.
So lovely to be here. I hope you bring me back because that was the most fun I've had in months.
Doesn't it fly by? Doesn't it just fastest? It's the fastest 25 minutes in podcasting.
Same.
And as I mentioned at the beginning of the program, proud members of the Candy Factory Collective. Visit candyfactorycollective.com. Check out all of our shows. A lot of big stuff coming up this year, 2021. The year that shall not be mentioned is beyond us. It's in the rear view. But we really built a nice foundation for what we're gonna bring to the table. The gifts that we're going to give the internet, like this program twice a month. And don't forget to visit coworkinginlancaster.com. Check out the Candy Factory. Come see us and give us a tour. It's great to see you guys as always, and we will see you next time on 5 by 5. The Candy Factory 5x5 podcast
is a proud member of the Candy Factory Collective. 5x5 video can be found on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn.
Subscribe to the audio version wherever you get your podcasts.
The Candy Factory 5x5 podcast is recorded at the studios of the Candy Factory,
a co-working campus in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
The show is produced and hosted by Jason Mundock,
along with co-host Robert Diggs.
Editing and additional production by Anna Tran.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast
are solely those of the expressor.
The Candy Factory is not in any way responsible if anyone said something stupid.
Our theme music was composed
and recorded by a really cool guy.
Really cool guy.
A really cool guy.
Really cool guy named John Chen.
Relevant links and show notes
can be found on the show post
at our website, candyfactorycollective.com.
Maybe that's it.
Is that it? Okay.
Candy Factory
Collective.